So today is Wednesday, September 19th, 2018, and it's actually the day that I had planned on leaving for Quadstate. Now, if you follow my channel, I'm also a blacksmith, and Quadstate is a really big blacksmithing convention in Ohio. I think it's Troy, Ohio. That basically right around Dayton. And I was planning on driving my Rover down there, making a nice long road trip out of it. But unfortunately, last weekend actually, no, 2 weekends ago, my car decided to start overheating. Now this is the new engine in there, and that was the first long road trip I've taken in it. Engine overheated a bunch, and well, I thought I fixed the problem, but this last weekend I took a trip over to the Yankee Peddler, and it overheated twice on that route. So, trying to solve that problem. Of course, yesterday, pressure testing the radiator. I hear a pop at one point and start spraying out of here. I don't think that was the cause of the issue, but it was certainly an issue that needs rectification. So I spent all day yesterday trying to patch it, and, well, that didn't work. So, what I'm going to do eventually is pull out the bung that's soldered in here, just make a nice flat plate to cover this whole thing, then remake that and repair it that way, because that just won't do right now. It's slow leak, but it still does leak. And I've got another radiator over here. This one was basically, this was out of the 67 2A that was the that got scrapped, and it's where I got the hard top and back door from. I was told by the previous owner that this is brand new record right before they scrapped that, so it has like 0 miles on it. Now there is some gunk from, I think, insects getting in there or something. I'll flush it, but yeah, it's in great shape, and I really don't feel like messing around any further. I'll rebuild the original radiator in good time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the cover on this, because this is for the high pinion water pump. And I've got the low pinion water pump on the engine right now. You can see the gaposis here. And what that means is I need to get this shroud off of here and onto that one. Hopefully it'll be quick, and I'll get that done and able to go in. Well, apparently in my ramblings, I forgot to mention that I kind of wanted to start doing this little series of videos, basically sort of like documenting my progress on getting down to Quadstate. Hopefully nothing interesting, but it's certainly not boring right now. I've got parts coming in tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have a head gasket, so I'm going to pull the head off tonight, get ready for swapping the head gasket. And if it's a cracked block or cracked head, I'll know tonight, and I'll just slap it back on there to keep it watertight, go down to Quadstate with someone else. And I'm also going to film down there. I'm just going to call it Road to Quadstate, I guess. I don't know. That sounds a little corny thinking out loud, but it's where I'm at right now. Keep you updated. So I'm just, while this cover's off, I'm going to go ahead and give it a cover of paint. This is the rust reformer, so the fact that it's still kind of rusty, I did key it down with some 240 grit sandpaper. The fact that it's kind of rusty is no problem. This is matte. I kind of like the matte better than the gloss. And this is mainly for rust protection. I can always go over it with gloss later if I decide to go that way. So, just a light fog. To start out with. And then I'll go in and do a heavier coat later. Gonna flip it. Do the same on the inside. Oh, and my head gasket's supposed to be in today. I was worried it'd be coming in tomorrow, but I just checked it, and it updated, and it says today by the end of the day. So That's awesome. So this is a rather fun job putting the chain in, because I'm going to go ahead and use the hoist to pull the head off. I've pulled it off before, well, not this one, but the one on my original engine, just by hand. It's not too hard, but I want a little more control, make sure I don't bend any push rods, because I'm not going to pull them out before I pull the head off. So I'm just going to pull the head straight off. The push rods are going to help me out by using the valve spring pressure to pop the head off the block. So what I'm doing, putting the chain on. Now this is real fun because, well, that's a real bear to put on back there. As you can see, hand room is not that easy, so thank God for ratcheting spanners. Go back in there, and I had to loosen the bracket off. Now I just, now I just tighten them back up. Don't have to be super duper tight. I can get enough with the with the wrench. That should be tight enough. I just get the other one on there. That one's loosey goosey. Should be able to just tighten that up by hand until the ratchet catches, and then she'll go. Had to loosen that off in order to get enough wiggle room to get that bolt through. But I've done this once or twice. Well, I've done this once before already, taking the old engine out and then putting this engine in, so twice. So it's just a matter of remembering how to do it, and it's using the actual nut and not the wing nut that's floating around here somewhere else. There, that wing nut. Yeah, that just don't fit back there. Alright, so I've got all of the head bolts backed off. Didn't hear any uncomfortable sounds like snapping. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling them out. I'm just going to use the zip gun just because of speed. They're all loosened off, so there really should be no danger in this. And the head should pop itself off because of the spring pressure. So didn't do anything to loosen them. I might have to take the rockers off to refit it. I'll see if I can do it without doing that because, well, I'm just a bit lazy. But I'll do whatever turns out the best. So gonna go ahead and zip them all off, put the chain back on, and hoist the head off and have a look at that and the head gasket. Alright, I got the head off. And, well, if that's a coolant pass, yeah. That might have something to do with the overheating in the back. There's no coolant going back there. Hope that doesn't mean there's a crack in the casting back there. I don't see anything cracked around here. That's just a line. Hello. You look kind of burny. Is that a coolant passage? No, that's a... Looks like it wanted to blow back here. Also looks a little toasty over here too. Can't tell if that's actually blown, but yeah, definitely some crud back here. And it looks like there's some in the block too. Is this supposed to be a water passage too? Yeah, that definitely needs cleaning out. Oop, framing. Yup. Alright, looks like I'm going in with a screwdriver and trying to clean that all out. And hopefully when my head gaskets get here, they haven't arrived yet, I'll be able to slap this thing back together and it won't overheat, because plug passage is definitely a problem. I don't see any cracks in here. I have to pull the gasket off the block. That definitely looks like that wanted to blow between those back two. I'm going to check the valves for hard seats. I don't see anything in there, so I'll probably still have to run the lead additive. But while I'm in here, I might as well clean up the valves. Get a wire brush in there. Make this thing run a little better. Alright, well, here's the block. I went ahead and stuffed paper towels so that Any grit, grime, or carbon or anything won't fall into the cam foulers and thus onto the cam and the oil system. Definitely nastiness in the block back there, and it really does look like this head gasket was ready to go. So, oh yeah, I could feel the difference there. And it looks like there's some spotting. There's like a little thing there, and I can't tell if that's possibly where it was leaking into the coolant passages, but yeah, I think these are all supposed to be coolant passages, but there's nothing going through there. So yeah, we're going to take a screwdriver and clean that all out. Well, here we go, moment of truth. Definitely wanted to blow between those two cylinders. The cylinder number 4 was definitely the lowest compression. Clean the cylinders up too. Well, not the cylinders, the pistons. Look a little bit worn in. Not much of a ridge. Definitely nowhere near as worn as my motor was. Nothing ugly in one. It looks like an oil spot. Yeah, that was just an oil spot. Anything ugly in number 4? Not seeing anything. There's a line right there. But I think that's just a line. No cracks. Good. Not a cracked block. I think it's just stuffed up coolant passages, not letting water circulate to the back. So, glad about that. Did have the wrong thermostat in it too, that originally, but I did change that out. Oop, looks like the fuel pump is a pumping, so I shouldn't do this too much. 2. I guess this is just a lower mileage engine. Nice. So yeah, definitely in need of a head gasket. That was getting ready to blow. It looks like there's some burning up here. That may have been what was leaking in the coolant. Well, that's a... Ooh, looks like it was blowing possibly into the oil. Yeah, definitely wanted to go between 3 and 4. 1 and 2's not looking too happy either. Definitely in need of a head gasket, and it looks like the back is all plugged up. So, I'm going to assume that's the cause. When the head gaskets get here, I'm going to clean this up in the meantime. And when the head gasket gets here, use that and slap her back together. I like it when you find an obvious cause, and it's nothing serious either. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going through all the cork passages and feeling around in the block with the screwdriver. At least it feels like there's no problems in the coolant passages around the cylinders. It's just the ports that go into the head that got blocked off back here. So at least that's the case, and no real damage has occurred, so thankfully for that. Well, my parts from Bearmock came in, so I'm going to quick zip this sucker open, see what we've got. If I can get her open without killing myself. I'm going to pause this. Alright. Ah, yes. 1, 2. Thought I ordered 3. I'll have to double check that. But there we go. They're Bearmock brand. They're like $5 a piece. Rubber bump stops because one's falling off and one did fall off. Got 2. That's a hose for the brakes, but I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one for the clutch. More bolts for the wings. New sump plug. Universal joint, because one of the ones I've got, the grease nipple is snapped off in there, so I can't grease in. That's going to go flat eventually. Hold down clamp for the battery, even though I don't have the nuts for it. 2 of the tensioning pads, because I need them. And the buffers for that. These nuts, what are these nuts for? I know I ordered them for something, but I don't remember what. I don't remember what those are for. Alright, well, I'm happy about that. I've got manifold gaskets are on back order. I could have swore I ordered 3 head gaskets. Oh well. That's interesting. It doesn't say which side goes up. It's got big holes in the back, small holes in the front. I know that much, so let's go up this way. Yep. Yep, that's how she goes. Sweet. I've just been cleaning out the coolant passages, blasting them out with air. Same in the block. All of them are now clear. And I think that was our problem. Alright, so I got all the coolant passages flushed out with water and air until the water is running, well, just about perfectly clean. It's like every time I blast air in there, it comes out a little bit brown, but it's not black and chunky. I did the block too, so that should be good to go. I'm just going to run chemical flush in there for quite a while, just to eat out anything else in there, and hopefully it'll flush out eventually. But for now, I'm going to decarbon this all. Doesn't look like there are hardened valve seats put in there. Really doesn't look like it at all. But once I get the carbon out, I'll be able to tell better. Slap her back together and torque her down, and hopefully she'll cooperate and run right and not overheat this time. So that's what I'm hoping. My phone needs charged, so I'm probably not going to film much more of this. I'll film when I've got it all getting ready to go back together, but this is all prep work, not going to bother. Alright, well, I kind of cleaned it up over here, but you could see where it was trying to blow between 1 and 2. It might have actually started. 3 and 4 definitely wanted to go there. And then there's even a line of carbon where it was blowing between cylinder 3 and the coolant passage. So that is most likely the source of that foam in my coolant. And it's actually what I was wondering if what happened. So gonna go ahead and finish cleaning this all up and well, stick her back together. Can't find a wire brush to get in there real well, so I've just cleaned off the valves using a yeah, one of these things, whatever they're called, razor knife blade. And I'm going to do the same for everything else. Just kind of going, clean the carbon off. Yeah, that was actually built on there pretty good. Yeah, I almost certainly was blowing. Not a whole lot, not completely blown, but enough to basically pump air into the system under compression. Well, under the cylinder pressure at heat, but not suck any water back. Alright, you can see how nice and shiny all those brass tappets are. So, got it all cleaned up. I'm going to kind of show you the markings on the pistons. And I'm going to go ahead and put the head gasket on there. I'm going to get my wife out here. I'm going to try and put it together with the push rods. I'll have her make sure them poked up through the holes while I'm setting it down. Unfortunately, I don't have a tripod to film it, so I'm just going to have to take my word for it. If it works, or if it doesn't. So there it goes. Well, I've got it on. That was quite the struggle. None of the rockers are, you know, well, some of them are close, but none of them are actually contacting right now. So that means I've got a little bit to go before I bring it down. And that was a source of issues. I forgot about that there. But I'm going to take a speed wrench and hand tighten all the head bolts. I think I've got the head gasket lined up just right. Would not want to do that again, really, but it worked. Worked the third time. I didn't have to take the rockers out for it, so hopefully I didn't accidentally gack the gasket. So yeah, here we go. Alright, it's, I have no idea what time it is. Probably close to 9-ish. Let's see. Yep, just after 9. I think I've got everything buttoned up enough that I could start it. There's no water in it right now. This is basically just going to be quick on and off. Make sure A, runs. And B, that just basically see how loud the exhaust leak is going to be from the exhaust flange. Because it took me 2 or 3 times to get it dialed in right last time I did it. So would not be surprised if it's going to be the same deal again. Beyond that, basically I've got everything in. I'm going to flush it one last time with DI water instead of running out of the tap before I fill it up with DI water and flush, chemical flush from the store. So nothing, you know, nothing to go fizzy. I'm pretty sure this is going to stop it from overheating. I mean, blocked passages is a pretty good way to indicate heat overheating and getting the head gasket repaired. Hopefully that this one won't blow on me. So let's all right, got juice and runs, makes oil pressure. Wow, I think I got the exhaust down right the first time. Really tappety because tappets are unadjusted. Basically, I just wanted to run it. Yeah, I could live with that. I think that's pretty much just tappets adjusting and good to go. That started up real nice. Cleaned all the carbon out of the cylinders, off the pistons, out of the whatever you call them, combustion chambers. So hopefully it'll be a smooth running, get a little more oomph out of it too. Might as well decoke while you're in there. Alright, so this is where I'm going to wrap up for tonight. It runs. Basically I gotta put water in it and bolt everything back together, I guess. Water it tomorrow. I gotta get the tires balanced. I know this one definitely needs balance since I remounted it myself. And then at least one of the back ones is out of balance. I can feel it when I'm doing 65 down the highway. Might as well just get all 4 balanced, so I'm gonna put her up on jack stands and wood blocks. Basically put her up on bricks and take the tires up there. That way if they take a while with the tires, I can get the stuff, I can keep working on it. I don't expect them to do that long though. I just hate having other people touch my lug nuts because some of them, the studs come out on them, and I really want to keep an eye on the torques and whatnot. Just want to do that myself. So that's tomorrow's agenda. Hopefully I'll be driving down to Quad tomorrow. day later than I wanted to go, but heck, if I'm going in my car, I'm happy.